Yeah, that's what the quarantine will do to you, bro.
Hey man,
I'm
at least
so
you're not like.
lazy, but
Okay.
Do the days all mix for everybody? Like the days, like
I
Monday,
don't even
Tuesday,
know
Wednesday.
what day.
It's like
Like this Monday, Tuesday thing, I don't know anymore. I just know. I don't know. Every day Sunday.
hey man, it's like waking up this morning. I woke up at like 5 in the morning. I was like, I'm up way too early. Like I'm way too early for Saturday. But I was telling Jason, I was like, if we were actually at camp, we would be up at like 6 a.m. to get to breakfast like 7 a.m. in the morning or 6:45.
No,
Something like
breakfast
that.
is at
Well,
8 a.m. Don't get
it's
crazy.
not this.
Then why would you have us go there at 7 or
No, you have
7:45?
to send people there to set up.
Oh, well, that's why I always was there early.
I think breakfast is 8 o'clock.
I think this pandemic messed up a lot of things. I mean, iPhone was really excited about this in person.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where we've been able to go out and just sort of like relax. Now,
It is right.
behind schedule already. What's going on? Is this Bella? Bella, is that you? Or is that you, nurse?
The nurse.
It's me.
Oh, here's
Nurse.
Bella. Okay, there you are.
I'm so excited.
There you are. Can we hear you? I can't hear you. What am I doing here?
I love the pajamas Pokemon. Oh my god, I want it.
Power now. Now, I can't hear you, Bella.
Bella, we can't. Bella, you're muted.
Okay.
To mute myself.
All right, there you go.
Morning,
Am
Bella.
I unmuted?
You're
You are.
unmuted.
Hey, everybody. Got my best Pokemon on. It's wonderful for those individuals who are here so early in the morning.
I love your
So,
pajamas so much.
I'm loving it.
Thank you. You know, I wanted to do a little cosplay. I was kind of thrown off. I should have told everyone to get dressed up in their amazing, wonderful cosplay onesies. And don't tell me that some of y'all do not have onesies, because that's a lie.
I have ones just for
Okay,
kids.
everyone. How's everyone feeling? How many people are in here? You could say just who's in here?
Here,
We got a couple of early birds.
yeah.
All right. Really quick, how's everyone feeling? Who's in here, first of all? Tell me your name. Hello?
Hi, I'm Stefan. I'm
Hi, Stefan.
here. How are you, Bella?
I'm good, Stefan. How you feel today?
I'm feeling quite all right. I mean, early morning, but it's like, normal camp, so I'm excited.
Who else is in here besides Stefan?
Hello.
Just
My
you?
Hi,
name-
engineer.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
how are you?
Good.
For joining in. I had a little bit of technical difficulty. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about this morning is how those individuals that are here right now, how do you feel as far as sense of time? I want you to really think about that, a sense of time, because since we are on this semi-lockdown situation in school, I'm just finishing up my degree. After all this time, I'm doing it, offline. So it's obviously not in school. I'm doing the virtual. Anyone else is doing online schooling?
I think everyone
Yeah.
is that.
How's that been with you over there? You're doing it at Hostos, right? Because I'm doing it at Hunter.
Yeah, we've been online in Hostos for a while now, and
Do you find it a little bit daunting? Do you
yeah,
prefer it? I mean, I know human interaction is something that you can't really replace, but what do you think so far?
for me, I like I like the feeling of being in a class in a community, but with the online classes, you kind of have the option to like go back to recorded sessions, and that's something you don't get from a class. And also the freedom of being able to. I just get very very comfortable when I'm in class, and that's not something
Comfortable,
that
how
you get
so?
when you're like because my like sometimes I sit on the floor and meditate, right, while I'm in
Oh,
class
you
and
get
I'm just
comfortable,
listening because
comfortable.
I get very, very comfortable.
You get,
Like
let me take
super
my shoes off, comfortable so I can think.
yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We're all different learners. We're all multiple learners, and that at one point, society thought that people just learn one way, and that's not true. Some of us are kinetic. Some of us can't stay still, like myself. Some of us need music. Some of us is it's video. It's audio, and sometimes it's auditory, and you see it. You need to see it. Okay, so what can be said about the power of now? And does anyone know who Eckhart Tolle is? What could be said about the power of now? Not a hard question, and there is no wrong answer.
I guess it's the whole idea of being present at the
There you
moment.
go. You see how simple that is? Look. So right here, it says here, the power of now. I'm going to read something. Break the old pattern of present moment denial and present moment resistance. Make it your practice to withdraw attention from the past, which sometimes we hang on to the past and it's like baggage. And it says practice to withdraw attention from the past and the future whenever they're not needed. We are so, for me, I was so overwhelmed with what my future was, and my future, my future, my future, my future, my future, and yet not being alive right now. Has that happened to you as trying to get your goals? Anybody out there, you have any type of input on this? About thinking too much of the past or planning so much in the future and you're not living right now? Feel
Definitely.
free.
I mean, definitely. I feel like that happens to me extremely often. I think most of the conversations I have with Jason over the years have been about to live in the now and not really live in the past, or really not to make my past mistakes my burden, to kind of be accepting of the fact that I can move past those things and I can have a better future. And then like sometimes he has to pull me back because I want to rush to the future and I want to rush stages. So it's pretty interesting that we're starting off with this because it seems to be a theme of these last few months.
Well said. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to had a little rip in there. Excellent. Anyone else, please add. I want to hear everyone, even if there's only 3 of us in here. What are your thoughts? This is so important for you to be heard.
There's 5 of us in here.
Oh, 5 of us. I can't tell. I don't know because I try to do it on my laptop, so I'm doing it through my phone. So please, I wanna really hear everyone's opinion.
I
Don't be
mean,
shy.
yes, sometimes there's like you remember elements of your past, but what I've been able to do is, or what I'm learning to do, or I'm continuing to do, is not let my past sort of dictate my future. I don't let
Absolutely.
it, and I don't let it affect the now. I just like I embrace my past, and like I know it's a part of me, and it's about working towards the future and not letting my past, influence my future decisions and my now decisions.
Who else? Who has lived in the past? Honestly, I know I have at one point or another. And sometimes you forget, and even when we're in this quarantine, it's like time goes like this. And then sometimes I don't know if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And how can we live in the now in this situation? What do you think, everyone? How can we live in the now with what's happening with us? Because we're all involved in this. This is not just an isolated situation that, it affects everyone differently. What do you think?
I think it's accepting the past first and foremost. I think that some people can't accept the things that have happened, and we try to get closure in those situations, so we're ending up living back there instead of living here. And one great thing that Jason has always told me is that sometimes you'll never get closure. Sometimes you just have to move forward,
Right.
and that's something that I feel like for young leaders we should all know. Sometimes you'll go through a situation and you'll want answers as to why you went through that, and you won't get those answers. So you have to keep trucking forward and keep moving forward. Those answers will come somewhere down the line. You just can't stop living now,
Anyone else wants to add on to that? Very well said. Don't be
Um,
shy.
I
I can't
I
see
feel
anyone, so don't be shy.
I kind of feel like the same way. It for me it has been really hard to be living in the present now. Um, just because this whole thing is happening, and I just keep thinking like what's gonna happen in the future. Um, for me, like the future plays like a huge role in my everyday.
Right.
Um, so I don't know how to be safe at the moment when I'm trying to live the present when this is happening. It, I definitely don't know.
All right. Now, quick question. When was the last time that anyone here really felt present? This is very different from about being, I said, in the now, but actually believing that you're in the presence, that you. Okay, let me word it this way. When was the last time that you were moved by a sunset? I know that we're in quarantine, but there are moments that you can like see the sunset or listening to the crashing rain. Or do you think that this society and this generation, they just overlook these things? As millennials, I'm asking you guys, so I'm definitely not a millennial. I'm asking you guys, what do you think about presence? About seeing what's really around us, and are we forgetting what's more important? What do you think about this?
I'd say for myself, there's a lack of appreciation for it. You know, it's happened so very often, and we've seen sunsets, or you know, we walked the beach and felt the sand under our feet. That you know, we started to underappreciate it. So now, when we don't have those things, I feel like you're more attached to finding them, and it's far and in between. You know, because we're kind of in stay in place, and there's debates about opening beaches. There's debates about what to do, and you know, how close to be to people. So I feel like for me, it's always been taking those things kind of for granted. But now it's like when I do like look out of my window at like 7:30 at night and watch the sunset, it's more meaningful. I think.
Very well said. Anyone else wants to say something? I know sometimes it's difficult to express yourself on a deeper level than our superficiality of media, because I myself am a victim and a perpetrator of media, Instagram, Facebook, and now this mass craze with TikTok. How can we be present on the physical realm when we're constantly on this virtual realm? This is an open question to everyone, and I would love to hear everyone's input, because everyone here right now has made the effort to be here so early, and I want to hear what you have to say. Feel free.
Um, for me, I think I had to, um, you know, I think the first thing is acceptance. Like I had to accept the fact that there, like for the next however long, we will not have that connection with the physical or what we used to have anymore.
Right.
So, which is why we're all accustomed or getting used to the virtual system of everything right now. And like Stefan said, you learn to appreciate the little things, the subway, the food trucks and stuff like that. And it was things that we used to take for granted before. So now it's like we would learn to appreciate it more when like we're out of lockdown. So how to remain present right now is and to not lose your mental state is to actually sort of what's the word? Is to sort of adapt to what's the
There we
current
go.
norm.
Right.
And then, when better days come, you should be prepared to appreciate the things you took for granted more, because this is like a high opener of the things we've not been appreciating a lot.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Come on. Like the tropics. You're over there in the tropics, huh? I love that background. That's it? Cricket, cricket. Won't put anyone else on the spot. Okay. So we're talking about being present, talking about the lapse of time and trying to understand. So where do you think social media plays into all of this? Has it been an outlet for everyone in here? I want you to be honest. Do you find yourself idling more on social media, or it's just about the same?
Be honest, it's way more now because I feel like it's like we're talking about time, and you know, for some reason the days now seem so much longer. So you'll find yourself on social media and it's like you're not really doing anything on there. You're just scrolling, like trying to find something that you could really connect with or somebody that maybe feels the same way as you. So you're just there, just searching the infinite void of social media, trying to find something, or you're posting a picture on Instagram hoping that somebody will comment on it and, you know, you'll strike up a conversation. Because I feel like in the here and now, you're searching for connection and connectivity to people because you're distance. Like the only people that we're all seeing are obviously our families.
Right.
So normally, so it's like any type of outside connection you can kind of get. You're putting your hand out there, sort of in the social media world, to try to grab that hand that's reaching out to you.
Well, absolutely. I think that you can use social media to your advantage. I just felt that in me studying the algorithms of, it's really shifted in my opinion, but I do think that you do get a great support system when you use your social media in a way that benefits you as opposed to just idling. I've met some of my closest friends throughout the world through social media, so I'll never condemn it on that aspect. But I can see it that because it's integrated now with the millennials, it's almost like it's like an extra hand. Social media goes hand in hand with breathing in a sense. What do you think about that? What does everyone think about that? Is that true? Would you get crazy if they shut down your Instagram or you a Snapchatter? Who's on TikTok over here? Who went over there to the devil? Who has a TikTok
I
account? Stop
feel
lying.
I think
Nobody wants
everybody
to
has
admit it. Nobody
one.
wants to admit it. You got one?
I had one, but I had to stop because of the finals. But you know what I actually think? I think if the lockdown or the, how do I put it? If what we're being banned from is social media, I feel like we would have lost it way quicker than right now. If like there was a total lockdown of social media, no more social media, I feel like a lot of people would have broken down way quicker than right now because this new generation, like you said, the millennials were very attached to social media. And not only for the fun of it, you're starting to figure out that people actually make millions off of it. So this is actually a source of income as well. So everybody's trying to get into it for the fun and also the monetary part. And some people genuinely want to promote their craft. So, and social media has actually proven to be like a very huge platform to promote yourself. Like most of the musicians don't need record deals anymore. If you have a good social media presence, you could own a whole record label. You could do things like that. So it has been a business and a huge part of this life. And I definitely think if we were cut off of social media, people will lose it. I think people will lose.
All right, here's a question for everyone. Right now, let's see, it's 8:20. What are you grateful for? I want you to really think about it before you answer that. What are you grateful for? I mean, really, what are you really grateful for? We're living in a time that is unknown. We're not in school. We can't really socialize with people. We don't know where our future may be held, but what are you grateful for in the right now, in this reality? What are you grateful for?
Nicole says life.
What?
Nicole is on the call. She's muted, but she says life.
Nicole, life. Sounds fantastic. Nicole, I know that you're muted, but I want Nicole to expand upon that. What do you mean life? Just the mere ability to be breathing right now? I agree with you, Nicole.
Good morning. Yes, just to be alive, because as bad as it is, as much as there's, stay-at-home orders, there's still people dying.
Yes.
People going to the beach and getting bit by sharks and flying planes is like, it's ridiculous. So just that, to be here and hopefully, to be able to be one of those that can say, okay, this is what
You're
I went
absolutely
so
right.
far. That's just like everything.
You're absolutely right. And sometimes we forget. We get so overworked on things that have not happened yet that sometimes we even forget about that we wake up. There are people that don't wake up, right? Even young people. Every time when I pick up my phone in the morning, I just hit like the Google bar and it's showing me all these young people that are passing away, some that are famous or whatever, some are 21 and they're 31, and that's very young. And I've never really seen like youthful life being taken away like that. But it's at a snap at a finger. At one point, we're like, oh yeah, you know, you die when you're in your 70s or whatever. But that's not, life is not a given. So you're right, and I agree with you, Nicole. Anyone else?
I think those that I'm connected to, I've realized through this time, like I'm always like bad at upkeep of relationships. So like I lost touch with a lot of good friends beforehand and a lot of great people. And what I realized is like through this time, like I don't have any excuse but to maintain those relationships and to reestablish and reaffirm them. So it's really great that I have such a great support system, and you're seeing like I'm part of a bunch of different groups, and one is Inspired to Lead, which Moise also is a part of. And I love them so much because they keep me grounded, and they're the people that I can talk to about almost anything and not feel judgment. And also SLA, this is been my family for 3 years. So, I mean, I have a higher and greater appreciation for it. Just being in this space and being able to be here with you guys today, because like obviously this is not the traditional retreat, but we're all together still. So it's still that feeling of just togetherness that really, you know, helps me, because I feel like in this time when you're lonely, it's the most detrimental thing, like during these times. So it's awesome to like have people that I'm connected to.
Quick question, Jason. I would like to do like a little quick, maybe 3-minute breathing meditation. Is there any way you can set up, since I'm on my phone, is there any way I can set up that I can see it? Anyone? I know I'm seeing this one gentleman. Stefan, is that you, the one who's speaking right now?
Yep.
I see. Is there any way you can arrange that?
Can you see
Or
everything?
it's not feasible. Like when I was on my laptop, I could see everyone, but on
Yeah,
my phone.
if you slide to the right,
Let me see which is my right.
you can see four people at a time, I think.
So let me swipe to.
See it? That was your left.
No,
Swipe to
making me
your
look bad. Hold
swipe
up.
to your,
Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. I
you got
do
it?
see. Oh, there we go. Hi. I see you with the pink. Nicole, I know that the Nicole cannot be seen, which is fine. All right, everybody. So now I know how to use this. Please forgive me. Okay, everyone.
I'm sorry, I can be seen, but you know, it's not fun. It's too
That's
early.
okay. What
And
I want to do for us right now, for all of us that are here, let's just do some nice breathing techniques. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to sit up. You don't want to slouch. You want to sit up and relax your shoulders, okay? So one of the things we want to do, if you can see me that I have my hands here, this is namaste. Let's say namaste to everyone. Namaste. Peace be upon you, because it's the greatest thing to have someone bestow upon you peace. So I want us to go like this. You're going to take, this is energy that's all around us that you do not see. Take that full circle. So you're taking this full circle. This is your energy. You're good. You right there, young man. Andre, I don't see you doing that full circle stuff. I got you like this, Andre. You could do it. You're in it to win it, Andre. Todo bien. Ready? So we're going like this, bringing it in, and push this out. You're pushing out the bullshit. Bringing in all the good energy and just pushing it out. One thing, all right, now stop. One thing that I want to tell you is us as Americans, sometimes when we're dealing with Eastern culture and stuff like that, and stuff that is old, we tend to be kooky about it and be like, oh, well, this doesn't have anything, you know, this is not going to do nothing for me, or gathering this. You'd be amazed. Because that is ancient holds more weight than any scientific BS that you're going to find now. You know why? Because science is ever changing. And what was true today may not be true 5 years from now, may not be true 1 year from now, but that is ancient. And the practices that are old is viable. Why? Because this has lasted throughout millenniums. Do you understand? So we're going to breathe in through our nose. Breathe in, hold it, and push and exhale out. When you're breathing in, you're going to breathe in all that good stuff, all the stuff that's going to give you life. And you can think of whatever it is, whether kicks is your thing or video games is your thing, that's fine. Because we're all different individuals. You're going to think what gives you joy and exhale all that negative stuff. Being trapped up, you gather a lot of negative stuff on your shoulders. You can't move. You want to play ball with your friends. You want to go to the movies and chill with your homegirls or whatever the case may be, and we can't do that. I myself, I've been self-isolated for about 1.5 years, and I'm going to give you my experience. After the Leadership Academy and graduating, I went straight into the city. They like plucked me up and I became a recreation specialist with the city of New York. Amazing programs I created, but then something within me was not right. And you had, oh, well, you're going to have a pension and you have a job and you're working for the city. But I wasn't being treated right in the soul. I had individuals that were supporting me, but I said to myself, is the pension, that's what I need? And I'm feeling all uncomfortable. I'm coming home angry. I'm arguing with the people that I care about, and I'm miserable. And I had to make a decision. I brought all my debt down and I started saving all my checks. And again, this is something that a lot of people do not know that I left. Like my friends don't, a lot of my friends don't know that I've been self-isolating for about 1.5 years and fixing my space up. And I saved my money and I'm supporting myself. I've not collected any unemployment. And during these hard times, I just allocated a certain amount of money of all the checks of my work and stuff. And because my cost of living is low, I've readjusted myself. So this isolation quarantine stuff is not really affecting me as bad as most people. Why? Because I've created an outlet within my apartment. I do my gardening. I have my art stuff. I sketch. I got my comics. You have to fill your surroundings with things that you love. And you could be like this and be like, well, I like to play video games. If that's your spiel, that's your spiel. I know a lot of people that do the online gaming, they talk to people and whatnot. It's about connecting. And sometimes we're afraid about disconnecting. And I realized that there's a difference between solitude and being lonely. Solitude is a place where you're comfortable with yourself. And not a lot of people can say that, well, I was alone today, and I was okay. Sometimes you feel uncomfortable and you feel like you need to reach out. And sometimes you got to say, you know what? Let me just take this deep breath. Let's do it again. Here we go. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And I'm going to continue my story. 1, hold it. Ritual. Americans, we have our culture. And with my heritage, we have our rituals. I'm Puerto Rican. I come from the Caribbean, right? Some of you may come from the Caribbean. Some of you may not. Everyone here, I know we have our own cultural. Just give me a rundown. So I'm from Puerto Rico. Stefan, where are you from? Heritage.
Haiti.
Andre.
Oh.
You got some reverb there. You gonna start rapping? What's up with that reverb you got? Where's your heritage from?
Barbados.
Oh, very nice. What does it say there? What do you have there? It says African what?
African giant.
Oh, schnivers.
That's
I was gonna say some other
Louis.
stuff. All right.
That's
African giant.
Louise. I'm from
Okay.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Who else? Let me swipe. Nicole, where's Nicole from? She could type it out. Eunice, ¿cómo estás? ¿De dónde eres? Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, you are.
Kenny
Dominican.
says she's from Honduras.
Honduras. Okay, who else is here? Anybody else here? We got Andre Thompson. All right, so let me just go back. So, it's scary. When you decide to go back to school, it's scary. When you decide to take that extra step and say, you know what, maybe I should join this program or whatever, scary. Why? Because you're outside of your comfort level, right? But the fact that all the individuals that are here, you decided when you came, whether you came to Hostos, where you were recruited or not, you're here right now. You're making this initiative. They always say that a pound of advice is good, but an ounce of help far outweighs a pound of advice. And the fact that you individuals are physically here says so much. So you don't have to be here at 8 in the morning. You could have been here at 12 and be like, nah, I'm not going to be there at 8 in the morning. It ain't not going to be nothing for me. You never know. You have to take that initiative. So going back to my isolation and separation, I had doubts, but you know what? I had people saying, oh, you're going to lose your pension. You're going to lose this. And I said, is my life a given? I have a certain amount of money saved. I know what I can bring to the table. Thank God, with all the credentials that I got when I was with the Leadership Academy. And a lot of people sometimes be like, oh, it's whatever. It really isn't. The opportunities that are before you, you can either be the one that's like this and say, well, I really don't see anything. I'm not going to waste my time. Or be the individual who's going to be like, well, maybe that's something I can try. It has to come from within you. What are you capable of? What are your limitations? How do you want to sell yourself short? So when I decided to leave this agency where I was making pretty decent money to going to making no money, but having investments on the side, because what I did, you know, financially, at any age, you can set yourself up, and you just have to make that decision. What type of young person I want to be? The one who's spending money on kicks, got my $300 kicks right here. You know what I'm saying? And you always got his good friend. I got a friend, he got the freshest kicks. And I'm like, you still living with your mom? Yeah, but he got all his fresh kicks, which is good. One of the good things about buying kicks is you're going to resell it. You know, if you got a plan in whatever it is, if it is that you collect kicks, what's your plan? You're just going to have 1,000 kicks and still live in a shoebox? Or you're going to buy those kicks and resell it? What is going to be your plan in life? What is your floor plan of life? So for me, where I'm at right now, and so I said no to a lot of things. People, oh, help me with this, help me with that. And they're probably thinking, oh man, Bella's so unreliable. She said she's going to do this. And I just did not have to give anybody. When I left, when I self-isolated, which I've been self-isolated for about 1.5 years in my home, and I was just traveling. Thanks to my love, I've been traveling the world. So I was in Spain and Italy and whatever. And I said, I'm going to live my life right now. I'm not going to live my life when I'm 65. And what did I do? Finished up my degree, took some online courses from Harvard. I took some courses from Allison.com as well in project management, climate control. And by the way, there's free courses. A lot of Ivy League schools give you free courses if you're feeling trapped. And I know, and I'm just finishing up a credit, and I had to pay. Thank God for my stimulus check. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I took a portion of my little stimulus check to pay part of my class coursework. Because one of the reasons I left school is because my mom had passed away, then I was dealing with my father's illness. That's one of the reasons I had stopped my degree. I had to focus on my father who was dying from cancer, and I still couldn't save him. You see, because this is how life is. And then I said, oh, you know, I'll just leave school. I'm at work. And so I stood at work, and I just needed that one credit to finalize, to be like, okay, I got my wings. This is why everything that I worked for while I was at the Leadership Academy, and I was feeling like I wasn't accomplished. And then people have to like smack me. Snap that out of it, you damn Pokemon. You've achieved so much. Because you have naysayers. When you have the naysayers, they're like, well, what you doing this? Man, they ain't gonna go nowhere. And you see your back record of where you were and what you've done, and then your mindset, how it's changing and what you want to do, anything and everything is possible. So, you know, we were doing the meditation. I got into my spiel about the self-isolation. You can handle it. You can do this. Is moving forward, how are you going to allocate your time and space and frame of mind? What are you going to do for yourself? Let's just say, all right, everything's going to open up in June. Well, okay, realistically, yeah, maybe, but not really. What are you going to do from now until June? What are you going to do to acquire that little extra oomph to put you ahead? You have to see what's going to make this happy. How can you get this? Because you want this happy, but you need this to support yourself. Yes? So it's a give and go, just like economics. You give something to get something back. And for myself, I said, oh, I stood and I was working and going to school and seeing my dying father, and I still didn't leave my job. And I was miserable and I was withering down, and people were like, damn, Bella, you're not like the person you used to be. And then I figured it out. It was the toxic environment that I was in. So that 1.5 years ago, and it was scary, but I felt a peace fell upon me because I had finished all my debt. I had a certain amount of money. I knew my cost of living. I said, I'm going to do this. Since I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to do it. There are people that stay with the inches. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, my next step is I'm going to give the best that I can to my employer. But how can I do that? Getting those credentials. Getting those credentials. When I started out with Hostos, you know, I had got my GED because I had left school, and I got my GED. And then I remember I would be like, oh God, what am I going to do? I only have a GED. And I worked for a private company where you needed a bachelor's, but I was a fashion executive assistant. How did I get that job? I guess just showing my natural talent, but not having the official stuff that you need to be solidified here in this America, because we all know how this America works, right? Us, our people of color, our brown and black people, are Latinos, and even some Caucasian individuals are oppressed, and they're not giving you that extra education you need. So you have to think to yourself, well, what am I? And you could be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get it. You know, I'm just going to do this because, you know, it's going to help me along. But it's really going to help you along? Only you can help yourself along. So that's why when I left Hostos, I came like a little chicken. Although I went to school as an older person, right? So I'm there like a little chicken. And when I was in Hostos, I said, I got a lot of plans. I said, I have nothing to lose. I know what I'm capable of. So when I was at Hostos, I went with my GED, got the best advice ever. Just take a liberal arts, is what the lady told me, because I was going to do early childhood education. I took the liberal arts, and through Jason was trying to acquire me for a while, but I knew that I had to build myself up, meaning my grades first, because I had to decide, am I going to be a floater? And there's nothing wrong with that. Pass your classes. No, I want to be on the top of the food chain, because if I'm going back to school, I'm not going to go back to school to, what's the point? I know what I'm capable of. Yeah, I almost had a cardiac arrest when I took my economics class, that I had to actually go to a cardiologist, but what I learned from one of the things, and I'm going to speak about the Leadership Academy, and why one of the reasons it was that I could have left this job that I was with for almost 7 years, solidified right there. There was no way they could ever fire me. Something snapped in me. I learned the ability to sustain yourself and be on solid ground through the Leadership Academy. Why? Through action, not talking. I'm going to go volunteer and do this, and we're going to do this. The reason why we do all these modes and all these workshops is to build you up above. And I'm not going to say nothing bad about the rest, but to build you up to the best you can be. Nothing against anyone else, but you have to decide who you want to be, how much you're willing to sacrifice. Whether you be like, nah, man, I'd rather play the games or whatever. I'm a procrastinator, and I can be honest with myself. That time I'm just procrastinating, but then something happens. What's wrong with you? You know, when you left work and you know that you have to achieve this, because I gave myself a time span. And within that time span was to finalize my degree. And I'm always like procrastinating for my license. And if there's certain things I'm going to give an employer, I need my license. So there's certain things for me that I needed was finalize that degree, get the license. And they want me back in my agency. One of the reasons why I left was because when you have people in authority who they feel uncomfortable because you may know more or you think outside of the box. A lot of agencies do not like that. And so I learned in a way the hard way. Oh, well, Bella wants to do it her way. And then I would have to tell my higher ups, well, I'm sorry, your particular way of doing things just have not worked for the past 3 years that I've tried it. Please allow me. And so that was a lot of give and take with people. They're like, who this? And I'm going to just, who this Biash thinks she is? Well, I'm not trying to take your job. That's why you got your position. That's why you making your $100,000. How about you build me up so I could be your right-hand person? So this is what I like about Jason. Jason is an individual that's never felt threatened by talent. I'm a person when I've run summer camp, I've never felt threatened. Like I'm a flag football coach, I'm certified flag football coach and soccer coach. And, I got into all this exercise stuff when my expertise was photography and stuff. But who am I not to gain more knowledge? Who am I not to switch up and gain more knowledge? I'm being still true to myself. So I left. I got involved with this apartment trap and people didn't see me. Where are you? And then something happened. I just didn't want to see people. I said, why am I going to go to the bar and waste money? I always do that. Let me just stay here and fix my space until when I'm ready to represent myself. So sometimes you got to work on yourself, and sometimes isolating yourself is not a bad thing. It's how you create your environment. It's how you create your mindset. And understand that you can do it. Understand that you are unique. Every single person here that I'm speaking to, and I'm very grateful for the individuals that are here and allow me to have this platform, because initially when we had the first meeting of doing the virtual thing, I think this is amazing that it's happening, because you have a collective of individuals who are like-minded people who said, let's make this happen. You either have those who be like, I don't think so. This is always something that you're going to come across. I don't know, somebody in here is like that. Sometimes that's how it is, but you got to snap out of that. Meaning, I'm a solution specialist. I cannot deal with people like, I really don't think, you can't open that because of this, and one. What do I say? Well, if you had $1 million, they were going to give you $1 million, you would know how to open up the can. Let's just say you would know how to set up the cabinet. It's about, what is the initiative? What is the initiative that's being given to you? Self-gratification? Am I going to move up? And, so sometimes we tend to hold ourselves back. Don't hold yourself back, because this is one life. Just like Nicole has said. This is your one life. And if you don't think you're great, I'm telling you that you're great. Every single individual who's listening here right now, you have the potential to do whatever you want. I don't know if you're, okay, quick, just by saying everyone here is still at Hostos? Or we have alumni right now? Andre, you still at Hostos or you alumni?
I graduated this semester.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. How about you, Stephen?
I'm actually coming back to Hostos in few weeks. I had left Hostos, so on my way back, I start classes June 1st.
Oh, wow. You mean distant or you going? No, right? It's remote, right?
Oh,
We're
it's
still
it's
doing.
remote, so yeah. So I'm remotely going back, and then like hopefully this fall, they give us the great news that we're back in school. Zyra says, by the way, she's
Gretcher, how
alumni.
are you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Gretcher's here. She says she's alumni. And Zyra also says she's alumni, and Tania says she's still at Hostos but graduating this semester as well.
I have a quick question for those of you, for all of you. Gretchen was a huge support for me when, hello, my queen, good seeing you. When we were together at the leadership, you seek like-minded people. You like to play ball, you seek that baller. You can talk the logistics of basketball, let's just say, because when I was mentoring my kids, they love their basketball, and it's just, you got to learn all the stuff. I'm not a basketball coach. That's a little bit too much for me, but you get to learn. You bring like-minded people. You bring like-minded people to serve your purpose. Why? Because it's your universe. We live in a society, right? And society says you can't do this, you can't do that. But in your world, as long as, in my opinion, you're not cutting down trees, beating up grandmas, kicking dogs, and smacking kids, I think you're all right, because that's the vulnerable population, right? Our animals, our children, and our seniors, right? You create whatever you want. I used to be my own cage. I used to be my own hell. I used to say hell is my own mentality. Well, why do you do that, Bella? But what happens sometimes in life as a human being, you self-doubt yourself. I've self-sabotaged a lot of opportunities. I can say it because to deny it, I would be less of a person to deny the fact that I've self-sabotaged myself in certain instances when an opportunity was presented. And then sometimes you just like, and people always say, well, it wasn't meant to be. Well, you know what? Some things are meant to be. And when that opportunity faces every single one of you, take it. Have you had an opportunity gone by? Be honest. Who has had an opportunity gone by and you're just like, well, maybe you were scared or you probably felt you couldn't fill the position or whatever? Anyone? Give me hear some feedback. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
All the time.
All the time? Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
All the time.
Anybody else? So no one has sabotaged themselves ever?
I can definitely speak for this. I had an interview for a position that actually was like my dream job. It's like everything I wanted, and I just couldn't like step into a room. I was just like, I can do this, and then I left. And then they emailed me like, what is going on? And I was like, I don't know, I can do this. So I definitely like, I don't think that I can find that position ever again. But like, yeah, for me, that was like a breaking moment for me that I need to do something.
And it's brave for you to admit it, because we don't want to admit our shortcomings. But you know what? To admit your shortcomings is to admit the completeness within yourself. Because if you just, that doesn't happen to me, well, I don't trip over expectations. You crazy? That happens to that next dude over there. I trip over expectations. I'm walking down the street and I'm tripping. It happens. But you know what you do? You regather your steps, gather your wits, and say, let me start again. And there's
Nicole
nothing wrong
raised
with
her
it.
hand.
Sir?
Nicole raised her hand.
Yes, Nicole, please. Put audio.
So I put on audio and video just for this. So
let me see Nicole. I'm screen down. Where's Nicole?
At first, I was listening to it and I was like, no, I'm one of those persons that I usually go for whatever I want. But then listening, I was like, I think I do sometimes self-sabotage in the sense that my worst, what do you call it? It's my worst negative trait, I think, is me and time management.
Oh my goodness.
And there'll be times, I remember, I think last year on my birthday, I had an interview. And it's like every time I should be early, something happens. I want to be early enough and something happens. So that time now, I didn't hear my alarm. Right? So I didn't hear the alarm.
Did you really not hear your alarm?
I didn't hear the alarm. And I was like, okay, because I was going to take the train, because I was like, I don't want to drive my car because there's no parking. So I had that plan, let me go early, let me think. So by the time I woke up now, I was like, okay, if I run and drive fast enough, then I'll be able to reach on time. So I'm going again now, and then I know the way, but I decide to take the GPS, and the GPS takes me like
Never do that. I tell you what happened to me. I can relate to you how I was late to an interview. I was on the opposite side of the city because I used the
and
GPS.
I'm like, I know, but I'm like, I think I'm trying to do everything that's like, so I can do it, but it's like I'm overthinking and just doing the wrong thing. So even though I know the GPS was telling me that way, I'm like, maybe it's right this time, but anyway, so when I see that I won't make it, I had like maybe 5 minutes. So I'm like, let me call ahead and tell them, I'm running late.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that either. You're a human being. Sometimes we tend to like not call or not let them know. We're human. What are they gonna be like? Oh, she was late. We're not even gonna consider that person.
But
sometimes it's not like that.
Somebody else would say to me, oh no, but you should have done this. You should have set 2 alarms. You should have had like a backup plan. Like you should not have let that happen to you. And I think that's what happens to me sometimes. Is like at the end of the day, I'll be like, oh, I really never wanted that job anyways.
Oh.
And
what are you gonna do now, Nicole? What are you gonna do now for situations like that? Do you have those 2 backup alarms and that bucket of water to
I have 4,
so you don't miss your interview?
I will have 4 alarms. Like now I've gotten a little better as it comes down to time, but I think with me the worst thing is when I have a job at 7, I can reach the work on time.
Maybe you shouldn't have a job at 7. Maybe a later shift. Try talking to your superiors about a later shift. You never know. If some people are just not morning person, not me. I can get up at 3 in the morning and I'm fine.
I've been up from yesterday at about 9 o'clock. I haven't slept all night and I'm fine. You understand? I can stay up in the night and I'm fine. The only reason why I'm up early is because I didn't sleep. If I slept, that would be the problem. So, it affects me sometimes. So, they say, to be a good leader, you have to demonstrate that you're always on time. And sometimes
what's the difference, Nicole? That you're recognizing it. You're understanding that something is going on as opposed to being in denial and saying, well, it's not me. It's just this and this and that. But you're realizing. To realize that something is just a little off in the self is how you can try and remedy it. Because remember, habit is something that's in your brain. And what you have to do is unteach the brain the habit and put another habit in. It can be done. It can be done. Thank you so much for sharing that.
But the thing is, it's not even like it's a one-off thing. But then it's like the same thing. I would think to myself, like, why are you like this? Like, I would wake up and I put the clothes on and I don't like it. Like, I remember I had an interview this year.
I'll tell you what, Nicole, not to cut you off. You get those damn clothes the night before and you do a whole wardrobe thing the night before, honey, and get your friends in on it. Does this look good? Does this one look good? Re-evaluate how you're doing things, deconstruct it, and reconstruct it in a way that's going to work. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Anyone else? Nadia? Where's Gretchen? Is Gretchen gonna say something? Jason, put the microphone on Gretchen. Let Gretchen say a couple of words. What's Gretchen doing these days? Good morning, Gretchen. No? Okay. We don't know what Gretchen is. Okay, everybody. The power of being present. We were just talking about this, right? So this is Eckhart Tolle. So it says here, I'm going to read it. So it's the power of being present. Observe how the mind labels an unpleasant moment and how this labeling process, this continuous sitting in judgment creates pain and unhappiness. Those thoughts that fester. Those thoughts that fester says that in reality, I don't deserve this. Oh, I don't deserve that. And I think that's why sometimes we self-sabotage. Because in our minds, deep down, maybe we feel we don't deserve it. You got to let all that go out the window. Don't sit. Don't sit. And it's almost like you sit, and not all the time. It has happened to me. I can relate to this part of sitting and being like, I remember when I was working and I'm like, well, I haven't accomplished anything and since the leadership, and I'm not doing this and I'm not doing volunteering, not seeing the full spectrum. Every day I know we give. Even in quarantine, we can be that giving tree in human form. You just got to think outside of the box. And we're like, we're in quarantine. There's nothing that can be done. Think outside of the box. There's so many things that can be done. Sometimes we choose not to. And we just choose to let everything pass by. Don't let life pass you by. Because this time span that we're living in is very weird. Oh, and another thing, the sun is dimming, everyone. I don't know if the individuals here, if you are up to par with what's going on also with the earth-wise, scientific, and not just with all this controversies that's happening with our dear Frumpy Trump. Sorry, that's all I have to say about Trumpy. And so, don't constrict yourself and sell yourself short and use quarantine as an excuse. Use, well, I grew up this way or whatever. When I grew up, I tell you, I grew up here in the South Bronx and things were kind of tricky. I was growing up during the times when it was like massive crack and all this crazy stuff. And then we're always going to have drugs. We're always going to have killings. There's always going to be the neighborhood was bad this time or whatever. You have to always see yourself outside of it. And just like this says here, are you gonna just sit and get mad at your circumstance? That's what holds us back. I'm mad at I know people like in my job, you crazy for leaving. And then after I left, people were commending me, right? To get back when I had left. And they're like, I wish I had that courage, or at least, and I would say, if you were financially set, would you still be working here? And then the norm with a lot of people is, heck no, for lack of a better word. No, I wouldn't. So one advice that I would give everyone here, my time is about to go, is know your self-worth. Gather like-minded people. Don't feel a type of way if, let's say you're in a position of leadership and someone knows more than you. Bring that person on board. Make my life easier. When I was doing the flag football, I had my youths and I'm like, gosh, the line of scrimmage and all this stuff. And I brought the like-minded kids so they could teach me. You learn from your elders, you learn from your youngins, you learn from your peers, you learn from yourself. But if you're not filling up your reservoir of knowledge, this is a word that someone once told me. They said, well, what's in your reservoir of knowledge? And I said, what? Reservoir of knowledge? What you talking about? What's a reservoir? We all know what a reservoir is, right? It's where water is put there to sustain life. A reservoir is a body of water where a city taps into. A reservoir of knowledge is everything, all the knowledge that you've gained, that you say, well, let me just pull out of my reservoir for that time of need. But if you're not feeding your brain, you're not feeding your soul, you're not feeding your being, right? The soul and the being could be one in one, but we have different things that we need: physical, mental, sexual, as humans, as human beings, as grown, right? Because we're not 10-year-olds here. So there's a lot of things that are needed. And is it well-rounded? And if you're waiting for someone else to give it to you, you may wait in vain. You may be just like Eckhart Tolle said, you're sitting there mad upset when the future's right there in your hand, right here. Action. Because remember, action, I'd rather have an ounce of action than a pound of advice or a pound of words or a pound of stuff that is just there. There's that pile of that's there. But action, solution specialist. Who are you going to be in your life? In the next 6 months, how will you handle what's happening and how will you stand out from everyone else? And can you? Yeah, you sure can. You sure can. Every single person here that's listening right now, you're here for a reason. You're extraordinary because you're taking that moment right now to say, let me tune in. It may be bullshit or it may be something that I may want to hear. Hopefully you're coming away with something that maybe you did not have. I'm coming away with your ideas and your thoughts for those of you who have spoken, and I'm grateful. And yes, like I said, I am a procrastinator. I've been like a hermit, and I wanted, and it's like I haven't really told it's like I want to make a disclaimer, is I have a huge support system of wonderful people that care for me, and they're like, well, where's Bella? She's, been dealing in my own world. I removed myself from society. So right now, because a year and a half ago, I removed myself from society, I'm not affected right now. And I've learned how to cope. You know how do you cope? You got to stand yourself. That's how you cope. You cope sometimes also by setting yourself a little schedule of things that you may want to do, whether it's exercise, virtual, whatever it is. You either become stagnant or you become proactive in yourself. And no one can do it but yourself. You are your own keeper. I was my own hell, my own procrastinator, my own saboteur. But at the same time, I also open up my own doors with like-minded people. Like with Gretchen, she saved me from economics. Gretchen. So anyway, with that said, I'm good. This is my hour is about ended. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity to for you to allow me to speak on several topics, and I'm grateful for those individuals that have spoken out as well. And this is a wonderful endeavor. This is like history, really, when you think about it. We're like the frontiers when it comes to stuff like this. This whole remote learning and remote, engaging, because we are creatures of habit, and we are creatures that we need to interact. I myself, I practiced for about a year and a half of separating myself because I really can't stand people sometimes. So isolation and solitude, I'm not like in a 6x6. So that's another thing, is how you create your space, your environment. When you look around, what's around? Does it feel like a cell? Is there something there that's going to give me joy when I come back to my house? So the main thing for me when I self-isolate is to make sure that I had an outlet within my home. So with that said, I want to say namaste. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much, leadership. Thank you so much, everyone here who has joined in, Gretchen, everyone else. Want to say blessings to everybody. Thank you. I know that at times, and I'm going to this is an open letter to everyone. At times I've been, you send me emails and stuff, and it's like, seems like I'm not responding and stuff like that, but I'm seeing it. I just couldn't give. This giving tree was dried up because I self-isolated, and I had to work on myself. And I guess that is selfish when I would give, but I just couldn't. And I'm looking like a slacker. This person, she's unreliable. She's this mentally, physically, spiritually. I can only give to myself. But now I'm in a different mode. Thank you, Gretchen. I'm going to see you soon. You'll see. So with that said, you will get through all of this. You are amazing. And if no one has ever told you, I'm letting you know right now. The fact you're here, you're amazing. You have the ability to do so much. And may every single person here in life, because life doesn't end at 23, 31, 51, 60. Life does not end like that. There is no such thing as I'm only going to be having fun when I'm like 18 to 31. That's a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. Life continues. And you have to, give good force to that life. You have to water yourself, and feed yourself on many different platforms. I'm not talking about eating that good meal, but you have to decide what type of person you want to be. So with that said, it's 9 o'clock. It's the 9 o'clock hour. Namaste to everyone. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. And God bless all of you. And that's it. Do you, but give back. That's all I can say. You can be as selfish as you want with the selfies. Do good and tell no one. That's the key thing. Can you do good and tell no one? Because it's easy to be like, look, I'm giving this guy $500. Well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Do good and tell no one. Manifest into the universe. Because let me tell you something. The power of suggestion and the power of manifestation is real. I know, I'm going to give you one example because I'm going a little over. So I know at 9 o'clock someone has to come and do something, but I'm going to say this. If you put it here, you say it here, you get like-minded people, you will achieve and get what you want. I don't even know the power of suggestion is real. I was asking for a particular paint. What happened? My friend calls. Yo, ma, I got 2 gallons of paint for you. I said, for real? Yes. Manifest it. Put it out there with good intentions, but it has to be with open, pure intentions. Believe in yourself. This world is very magical. It's not as black and white as people think. And you can create your own magic. So with that said, namaste, everyone. Thank you so much. And I'm signing off. Namaste, everyone. Be in peace. Bye-bye. Okay,
Thank you, Bella.
Jason.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we're waiting on, thank you, Bella.
You're welcome.
We do like,
Who's next?
Elvia's next.
Oh, fantastic.
So Elvia is actually 3 hours behind us. She's in like the West, and she's supposed to do the rock climbing thing, but the rock climbing place is not open. So she's gonna do a whole nother thing that she's an expert at. So Elvia's here.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Bella. Thank you for kicking us off today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for, and once again, I did an open letter apologizing. When you send those emails, I am reading them. I apologize. But thank you once again. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for reaching out. And, you know, I truly appreciate the Leadership Academy, and I truly appreciate, you know, I appreciate you, Jason, so much more than you would ever imagine. My eternal mentor, a person who's like the light, that I know that if I needed something or an advice, you will always be there. Even though you got your 2 little whippersnappers, but you still will be there. And thank you so much for that, Jason. Thank you for creating this. Thank you for everyone who brainstormed on this and made this happen. Appreciate everyone.
Thanks.
And forgive me.